Hello friends, Amanda here. Welcome back to Handmade Now Hallmark, and welcome to another card in my In the Garden card series for 2022. I really enjoyed making these two cards using one big, beautiful floral stamp set and showing you how to fix a mistake and turning it into something great. Going to be using the beautiful bouquet stamp from Simon, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this stamp down on some Copic friendly paper. I believe this is some Simon Says 110-pound cardstock. And I'm going to use some Simon Says Intense Black ink. This is a Copic friendly ink because I do plan on using my Copic markers. I wanted to get right into the coloring because it is quite a lengthy process. I had a little bit of trouble with some footage. I lost a little bit near the beginning, but the rest of the filming is all there. If you don't want to watch the coloring, you are more than welcome to skip ahead to the creation of the actual cards themselves. But if you enjoy the coloring, I'm going to have all of the colors that I use on the side of the screen, and I'm also going to put on some music for you to enjoy. And once we're all finished with the coloring, we'll come back and finish up these cards together. Once all the coloring was finished, I took my image and I put it in my trimmer. A little bit scary cutting it in half, but I really wanted to utilize all of that wonderful coloring in those images and create two cards. So I just took some rectangle dies from my stash to cut these out to fit on some A2 sized cards. Now again, you lose a little bit of your coloring, but I really enjoyed cutting them in half. It sounds kind of scary, but it does, so you can actually see the two individual cards that we're going to create. Next, I'm taking the Crackle background from Simon, and I'm going to add a little bit of detail to the background. Now you could, if you really wanted to, cut some masks and do it this way, but I felt like this was a little bit easier and it saved some time instead of having to try to cut out masks with all that fussy cutting. It's not really my thing. So I just went around and I carefully kind of mapped out where the inking would go, and it turned out great. Now this stamp, I must have used it in the past with a little bit of pink ink, so there was a little bit of ink transfer, but I really didn't mind it. I felt it looked really nice, and it fades back quite a bit. So I cleaned off that stamp and I stamped down for the second portion. I'm just using some fog ink from Simon. This is a nice light gray ink. It's just enough to give some texture for the background, but it's not too distracting to take away from our actual florals. So again, this was really easy, and if you get a little bit on your actual images, again, this is a really faint ink and it doesn't really show through that much. And I think it turned out really great. I love the way that this looked. I was really excited that it worked out really great. Once that was all done, I got my stamp cleaned off, got it put away. I have to remember to start cleaning my stamps off. I always forget about it. So then when I go to use them again, they've got ink transfer. So I'm going to get some card bases ready here. These are just some 120-pound cardstock from Simon that I cut to be top folding A2 sized cards. Get those folded over with my bone folder, and then I wanted to do kind of like a matte black background, so I took some black cardstock and I'm going to get them attached to my card bases here just with some regular old tape runner. If you wanted to, you could trim down those black pieces so you're not losing so much cardstock here, but I didn't really think about it until after I had it done. Once I got that put on my card bases, I had a little bit of overhang, so I just got out my little Tim Holtz trimmer and trimmed off some of that excess, just so I had a nice even card base all around. Get that all trimmed up and we can get to assembly of our cards. Once my bases were all ready, I wanted to get my greetings done. I'm using some greetings from the new Get Well Soon stamp set from Honeybee. This just came out in their spring release and I absolutely love it. Just like their Inside Kindness stamp set or any of their sentiment stamp sets, they are absolutely wonderful. Wonderful greetings, and I love all of the different mix of fonts, and these are so versatile. You can use them for any season and any card. I went through and decided on a few. I really liked these. I have a particular person in mind I want to send this card to, and I really think that she will enjoy it, so I can't wait to get that in the mail to her. Get these lined up, and I'm just using some black cardstock to go with the black matte. I felt like it would kind of tie it all together, and I'm going to stamp it down using some Simon Says clear ink, and I'm going to be using some alabaster white embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. Go through and get those all coated, get them heated up, and then I'm going to use the coordinating dies to cut out these greetings. That's another reason that I absolutely adore these sets, is that they have the coordinating dies to cut them out, and I really think it kind of adds a nice finishing touch to your cards whenever you have a nice die cut greeting. Now that all of our elements are ready to go for these cards, we can actually get to the assembly. I'm going to use some liquid glue just to attach my bases down nice and flat. I'm going to pop the greetings up and add a little bit of embellishment a little bit later, so I didn't want to add too much dimension, so it was a little bit easier to mail. Get those adhered down. If you hear any background noises, the kids are playing Mario with Dad, and they're very competitive, and so if you hear some noise in the background, it's just them all out there having a good time. Getting all of these adhered on here and get my greetings lined up, and I just love the look of these two cards. I love that the flowers kind of go off of the page. Really kind of sets the scene. Looks like they're up against like a nice brick wall or something like that growing in your garden. Once I was happy with that, I decided to use some foam strips from Darice to pop up my greetings, and these foam strips are perfect for these die cuts. They fit beautifully behind them. Now you don't have to pop them up, or you can cut the take the dies themselves and just cut more layers of cardstock if you want to do that. If you've got lots of scraps laying around, you can do that instead of using foam tape for dimension. I've seen a lot of crafters do that, and I think it's a really good way to kind of save on foam tape and use up some scraps if you have them. Get that all adhered down. I was really excited about this series and getting ready for spring, which is really funny because we just had about 3 inches of snow here today in central PA. It just snowed like crazy, and it's really heavy, wet snow, and we're supposed to get more snow over the weekend, and I'm just like, oh, come on, spring, get here. I really want to get my garden going and get out there and get it ready for the spring, because I am so done with winter. I'm ready for the spring season and the nicer weather. Get my greetings all lined up, and I just love the way that they look with it. They're all die cut in the black and the white. I really think it makes it look like kind of a classy card. Now, like I mentioned in my first video, that I plan on adding accents of gold for all of my cards in this series. So for this card in particular, I decided I wanted to add some gold splatter. I've just got my Art Philosophies metallic gold watercolor set here, and I'm going to do some ink splattering. Now again, you could totally leave this out. If you don't want to do that, you can add gold accents with sequins or anything like that, but I really like the idea of splatter. However, I made a big mistake. Got a huge glob right in the middle of my floral, and I was freaking out about it. I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt like I ruined the entire piece, and I was really, really upset with myself, but I thought, you know what? There's got to be a way that I can fix this. I know that I can fix it. You know, I tried to calm myself down. I stepped away from it for a little bit, and then I realized that I had something new from Honeybee that I could totally fix this with. I got the Lovely Layers Bugs die set from Honeybee, and I was so thrilled that I had this. And I added the little bee from this set, and it is the absolute perfect touch for this card and a perfect way to fix a boo-boo. So don't ever give up on a card. If you find a way to fix something, try your best to try to fix it instead of throwing it away and starting over. There's always a way to fix something. No matter what you do, you can definitely fix it. So I just die cut this bee from some Copic friendly paper, just like I used for my florals, and I'm just going through and coloring it in with some warm grays. I think I used warm gray 7 and warm gray 5, and then I'm using some yellows for the actual bee himself. And I went in with this black pen to add a little bit of like fuzzy detail to him. It translates okay. It doesn't translate perfectly, but the idea is there, and I wanted it to look like a nice fuzzy little bee. So I think he turned out beautiful. I just love bumblebees. They are so cute. I love them a whole lot. They can stay away from me, but I like bees a lot. And I used some nice heavy vellum. This is some vellum from Simon to create his little wings, and I just love this die. He is so sweet. I can't wait to use him again. Again, I can't say enough about Honeybee and their Lovely Layers dies. They're so awesome, and he fits perfectly over my mistake. And he's not too big. I think he's the perfect size, and it looks fantastic. I'm going to adhere him down with some foam squares, and I think it just really rounds out this card, and the recipient of this card is just going to love the bee, and I think it'll brighten her day quite a bit. So get that covering up that little mistake there, and now you'll never know it's there unless, you know, you tear him off, and I hope you don't tear him off. Lastly, I wanted to go in with a little bit of sparkle pen. This is an aqua shimmer pen from Nuvo. I'm going to go over the greetings as well as the bee's little wings. I really felt like that added to him as well. And the final touch is I'm going to add some Morning Dew crystal drops from Nuvo. I really like these drops. I think they add a lot of dimension, and they kind of look like actual dewdrops. So a nice touch there as well. And that will finish up these 2 cards for today. I really hope you enjoyed these 2 cards and watching them come together, you know, watching how to fix a mistake and never give up on a card. You can always make it work and turn it into something really wonderful. If you like these cards in this video, please hit the like button and consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more videos here at my YouTube channel. I hope you're enjoying this series. I can't wait to share with you what I have coming up next, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Bye!
on screen, I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos at my YouTube channel.